All right, this is the copyright disclaimer. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. And this video is not for any monetary gain. It is explicitly for the reasons stipulated in the Copyright Act of 1976 under Section 107.
Good evening. Dramatic testimony from the husband of a woman accused of decapitating the father of her children. Thanks for joining us at 6. I'm Denise Valdez.
And I'm Brian Loftus. That man is also the murder victim's son. 8 News Now investigator David Charnes covering this case. David, now day 2 of this murder trial.
And Brian, Denise, one day after Devin Michaels' attorney told the jury her husband, who is also essentially her stepson, killed and decapitated that victim, he told the jury he is not involved in this at all. Michaels is on trial for the 2023 murder of Jonathan Willett, the father of her 2 children. One of his children is Devier Willett, who told the jury he became sexually involved with Michaels when he was 19, and they later got married. Michaels also going by several other names, including Nikki Fairchild, which is her alias in the adult film industry. After Michaels' defense attorney tried to pin this murder on Devier Willett, the prosecutor flat out asked him under oath if he did it.
Did you kill your father?
No, sir.
Did you have any involvement in killing your father?
No, sir.
Did you have any involvement in what happened to his body after?
No, sir.
Devier Willett telling that jury that before his father's death, his father had actually recently just learned that he had married Michaels in those years before and that he was getting kicked out of the house. Michaels' attorney tried to show the jury Willett resented his father, suggesting that the way he described their relationship to a grand jury and to police was all a lie.
And you've lied to him about the relationship that you have with your wife, and you've lied to him about the living arrangement where you're getting kicked out by your father, correct? He's moving you out.
Yes, sir, because I didn't know what exactly had happened.
Devier Willett telling the jury he didn't actually remember much from the time of his father's murder because he says he was drinking heavily, but that he resented Michaels after her arrest. He said he hasn't talked to her since and he wants a divorce. Now, he, of course, not facing any charges. This is her trial. Prosecutors say there was no cell phone or video evidence connecting Devier Willett to this case at all. Meantime, Henderson police testifying today about their investigation, including their search for Jonathan Willett's things, including his car keys and his wallet. They testified they actually found it in Devin Michaels' bedroom, and they say they searched far and wide for his head, but they never recovered that or the murder weapon. I'm David Charnes, 8 News Now.
Now, the trial is expected to continue tomorrow with testimony from the murder victim's mother. The whole thing is expected to last through next week.
Adult film star decapitated the father of her children after marrying her stepson. This former adult film star in a love triangle between a father and his own son, and a murder so gruesome the police still haven't found the victim's head. This is the case of Devin Michaels' ex-porn star actress accused of beheading her ex-boyfriend after secretly marrying his son. Back in August of 2023, police in Henderson, Nevada found Jonathan Willett dead inside his home, brutally decapitated and covered in bleach, and to this day, his head has never been found. The main suspect, his ex and the mother of his 2 kids, Devin Michaels, also known as her adult film name, Nikki Fairchild. Prosecutors say she wanted to erase Jonathan so she could be with his son, Devier Willett, who she not only been having an affair with, but secretly married. They say she murdered Jonathan during a so-called massage, then tried to destroy the evidence with chemicals. But Devin's defense says otherwise. They're pointing the finger towards Devier, claiming that he had years of jealousy towards his dad and then snapped. The murder weapon was never found, and neither was the head. Devin once agreed to a plea deal, but then suddenly backed out. Now she's standing trial for first-degree murder.
This woman was just found guilty of murdering her ex-boyfriend. Watch this crazy moment from her interrogation.
Shame on you. That's terrible. There's some anger now, huh?
I told you from the beginning I did.
Is that how you feel against him?
No! It's not how I feel against him.
I think you're just upset that you got obvious and
The last thing that has happened to me, I remember my brain starts tingling, and then I would wake up. I don't remember doing any of this. I don't remember being there that day long. I remember getting my daughter's medication. I remember being home. I don't remember even hitting him like that. I know he was pissing me off, so I hit him, but it wasn't anything where he was dead. He was breathing. He definitely had his head on him. You guys are trying to say I did all this stuff. I did not.
The way that they manipulated and altered and deleted things is wrong. They should not be able to do it, and they have. And for you to be able to look me in the eye knowing that the things are altered and...
You pled guilty, ma'am.
Miss Michaels, you are not to address the state. You are to address me. You are.
You're
addressing Mr. Giordani. You are going to address me.
I don't know what to do anymore.
Judge, I'm not comfortable with this record. I'm willing to let her out of her plea if the court is inclined.
I don't know how to face this.
Miss Michaels, I need you to understand what I'm saying to you and answer my question.
Yes.
Do you want to withdraw your plea and go to trial?
Yes, please.
All right. This plea is going to be withdrawn.
Mr. Foreperson, has the jury reached a verdict?
Yes.
If you could pass the verdict form to the marshal. All right, the clerk will now read the verdict into the record.
District Court, Clark County, Nevada. State of Nevada plaintiff versus Devin Jade Michaels, a.k.a. Devin Willett, a.k.a. Nikki Fairchild, a.k.a. Tracy Baker, a.k.a. Tracy Nicole Tabarez, defendant. Case number C-23-377-239-1, Department 10. Verdict. We, the jury, in the above entitled case, find the defendant, Devin Jade Michaels, as follows. Count 1, murder with use of a deadly weapon. Guilty of first-degree murder with use of a deadly weapon. Dated this 14th day of November, 2025, signed Aaron Gilded. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, is this your verdict as read? So say you one, so say you all?
Yes.
Does either side desire to have the jury polled?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I want to thank you very much for the time and attention that you paid to this matter. The right to a trial by jury is a right that's guaranteed in the Constitution, but it's a right that we cannot provide without our citizens like you being willing to sit and serve your civic duty as jurors. I do appreciate the time that you gave this matter, so on behalf of the court and the parties, I want to thank you for the time and attention. I know that this was a lot that we asked you to do, so if you guys could follow the marshal to the back, and I will come back and formally excuse you from jury duty.
All right, for the jury.
Okay, this matter is going to be referred to the Division of Probation, set down for sentencing on
January 8th at 9 a.m.
All right?
Thank you.
Thank you. And I'm going to go back and talk to the jury in the least that they desire to speak to you guys. I'll come back and let you know. It's late. I'm going to allow them down.
Thank you.
Yeah, because I worked and it was like,
yeah.
Giving all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rahak Hakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well in teaching me this 100% truth. Salutations to them and my fellow Akim who labor in this truth week in and week out on the highways and byways. Also, salutations to the hopeful elect of the scattered 12 tribes of Israel, scattered to the four corners of the earth that be likened to the speckled bird, also known as your Israelite foreigners and your so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. To you, I say Shalom. This is your brother Ayashar Barazar from the Indianapolis branch of the Great Millstone, coming back at you with another lesson that is edifying to the elect body of the nation of Israel. Well, like we always tell you, that Newsbreak app is the gift that keeps on giving, especially when it comes to prophecy of the scriptures and knowing the times. Got this article here where you just really see that wickedness is truly polluted, exceeding and polluted the whole earth. And this is from this from the U.S. Sun, just posted today, really, and it's titled "A Las Vegas adult actress has been found guilty of murder after she decapitated her ex-husband while secretly married to his son." And there's so many twists and turns in this article. It's a fairly lengthy article. I'll put a link of it in the description box. But the clips that I stitched together at the beginning of the lesson give you an overall view of what's taking place here. She's going to be sentenced in January. But yeah, I guess there's a lot of twists here. So I just want to unpack it piece by piece because you got her ex-husband, and the ex-husband's son by another woman, all involved with this. All right. So I'll begin with her first. First of all, she's an adult film star. Okay. Which we know sex, according to the scriptures, is not the same as this marriage. Sex, according to the scriptures, is marriage. That is, if that woman is a virgin or all the husbands she had before the current husband are deceased. Okay, that's in the law. All right, you can look that up in Deuteronomy chapter 22, verses 13 on down, and then Romans chapter 7, verses 1 through 3. All right, so that's the only way a woman can be a wife. If she's betrothed, by her parents, or that if that man takes her and she's a virgin. Okay, all right. So again, that's how that works. So by her being an adult star, we know she's an adulteress already, and this is before getting with her husband and then his son, which is kind of crazy. So there's a lot going on with her as well. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 30 and verse 20. And it reads, "Such is the way of an adulterous woman. She eateth and wipeth her mouth and saith, I have done no wickedness." So even though all the evidence is there that she has been with other men, hey, just no accountability, and we're seeing that a lot among women. And this woman, appears to be a Northern Kingdom from what I can see. I don't know exactly, didn't go into her who she was, but she has a look of Northern Kingdom. Okay. But yeah, all the men that she slept with in that industry, and there's no telling who was in between her husband outside of the industry, and then her stepson. I mean, just wicked. All right, just absolutely wicked. But here again, this is where we are in this world, and the prophets are watching. So this is Romans chapter 7. Begin at verse 1. And it reads, "Know ye not, brethren, for I speak to them that know the law, how that the law hath dominion over a man as long as he liveth?" Verse 2. For the woman which hath an husband is bound by the law to her husband so long as he liveth. But if the husband be dead, she is loosed from the law of her husband. So, who's to say, that all of the men she was with before the deceased husband are actually deceased? Can't prove that. Doesn't matter right now. We just know that she's an adulteress. All right, and supposed to be put away for that according to the law. All right, so this woman was never loosed from the law of her husband. All right, verse 3. So then, if while her husband liveth, she be married to another man, okay, once again, marriage according to the scriptures is sex, okay? And Jake really has to ask the question. The first marriage license was issued in a colony of Massachusetts, I want to say in 1682, somewhere around there. All right. So what was our custom before that? Yeah, scriptures tell you it was sex. All right. Back in Romans 7. It says, so then, if while her husband liveth, she be married to another man, she should be called an adulteress. And that's exactly what she is, an adulteress. All right. But if her husband be dead, she is free from that law, so that she is no adulteress, though she be married to another man. And that's not the case. Every man prior to the man that was decapitated, if they are still alive, not only does that make her an adulteress, it makes him one as well too, an adulterer. Okay. All right. This is Sirach 25 and 19, or Ecclesiasticus 25 and 19 in the Apocrypha. And it reads, all wickedness is but little to the wickedness of a woman. Let the portion of a sinner fall upon her. And, death is inevitable. None of us are going to escape that, unless the Lord comes back soon and his elect are beamed up. But right now, at this time, that is the only time there's going to be escape. All right. But we don't know when he's coming back. But hey, in any case, let a portion of a sinner fall upon her. Death is inevitable if she doesn't repent. But she got a lot of blood on her hands, literally. All right. A lot of blood on her hands. And that portion of a sinner, is going to fall on her. Look, she's facing life right now. And come January. All right. So, and once again, that son is not innocent in this either. All right. This is Leviticus chapter 8. Several scriptures on this, several precepts on this one. Leviticus chapter 18, Slakia, verse 8. It says, the nakedness of thy father's wife shalt thou not uncover. It is thy father's nakedness. Yeah. Not supposed to be messing with your father's wife. He's still alive. They have children together. That's just foul, dude. That's your father. I mean, not anymore, but hey, that's just foul. Leviticus 20 and 11. And it reads, and the man that lieth with his father's wife hath uncovered his father's nakedness. Both of them shall surely be put to death. Their blood shall be upon them. So yeah, you and her supposed to be going to the spirit world right now. All right, both of you. All right. Deuteronomy 22 and 30. And it reads, a man shall not take his father's wife, nor discover his father's skirt. Yeah, you polluting your father's wife. You know, we know that according to Jeremiah 3:1. All right, let me get that. Although this is talking about Israel, but we know, the Father likens his people, the men of Israel, as like a wife, and he's the husband. You get that account in Isaiah 54, verses 1 through 6. All right. This is Jeremiah 3:1. It says, "They say if a man put away his wife, and she go from him and become another man's, shall he return unto her again? Shall not that land be greatly polluted? But thou hast played the harlot with many lovers, yet return again unto me, saith the Lord." So this is talking about Israel, but is making the analogy here. If a man put away his wife, now he married, according to the article, the deceased father married this woman in 2012, and they got divorced in 2018. Yet, you know, he was trying to move into the house with his son and her. All right, which doesn't make sense when they said they were secretly married. Why would your grown adult son have a place with your wife? And you moving in with them? That didn't make sense to me. All right, but this whole story was weird. All right, so yeah, you're not supposed to go back to her. All right, that's in the law as well. Deuteronomy 24, 1 through 4. All right. I'll get back to that son too. Deuteronomy chapter 24. It's like it. 1 through 4. It says, "When a man have taken a wife and married her, and it come to pass that she find no favor in his eyes, because he have found some uncleanness in her," and hey, she was an adult film star before getting with him, and there's no telling who she was with between the time she was out of that industry and got with him. So she was definitely unclean. All right. It says, "Then let him write her a bill of divorcement and give it in her hand and send her out of his house." Okay, which is what happened. "And when she is departed out of his house, she may go and be another man's wife." Yeah, just not his son. All right. As according to the law. Okay. It says, "And if the latter husband hate her and write her a bill of divorcement and giveth it in her hand and sendeth her out of his house, or if the latter husband die, which took her to be his wife, the former husband, which sent her away, cannot take her again to be his wife after that she is defiled, for that is an abomination before Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, and thou shalt not cause the land to sin, which Yahweh by thy power giveth thee for an inheritance." So yeah, let's she can't come back to him. But that's what he did. He went back to her. All right. He went back to her. Not to say that it was gonna well, she was still his wife, you know, um in in a way, you know. You got back together with her, you were trying to get back with her, but the scriptures say you're not supposed to do that. All right. So yeah, this is a whole lot of twists in this thing. All right. And like I said, she could be another man's wife, just not your son's. All right. Your blood son. All right. So I had some more in that. This is about that son, Deuteronomy 27, verse 20. And it reads, "Cursed be he that lieth with his father's wife, because he uncovered his father's skirt, and all the people shall say, Amen." So yeah, dude is cursed, and like I said, he's not innocent in this matter. You know, he will definitely receive a judgment for that. All right, the scriptures say that as well too. This is Deuteronomy 26, not Deuteronomy, Sirach, Ecclesiasticus, chapter 26, and verse 23, and it reads, "A wicked woman is exactly what she was or is given as a portion to a wicked man." All right. So, yeah, it's not by chance that that son, ended up with it. There's no real backstory on him, but man, you gave into that, knowing, you know, that was your father's wife who you have siblings with just by another woman. That's some wicked ass shit, dude. And you're gonna have to you know, be judged for that as well too. It says a wicked woman is given as a portion to a wicked man. So yeah, y'all were a match made in heaven, you know. But a godly woman is given to him that feareth the Lord. All right. So yeah, that's what's going on here. All right. Then you got the whole piece with the they can't find the head to the body, and the scriptures are clear about, not touching, a corpse or a dead body. You get that in the book of Numbers, chapter 19, beginning in verse 11 on down. All right. But yeah, yeah, like it says, this is just a whole lot to unpack in this article. But yeah, it's definitely one of those things where we are at the end times. Like the scriptures say, let me get that in Matthew 10. Um, I think it's 34, Matthew 10, 34. 35. Red letter, these are the words of Yahushua. Says, "For I am come to set a man at variance against his father, and daughter against her mother, and daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law." Here's the point. "And a man's foes shall be they of his own household." All right. This is how we know we're in those times. A man's foes shall be they of his own household. You got the wife that transgressed against the deceased husband, and then you got the son that transgressed. All right. And the scriptures say the love of many will wax cold. You know, just But let me get that. Matthew chapter 24 and verse 12. Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad I got it. It said, "And because iniquity, that sin on top of sin on top of sin, shall abound," that's continually increase, "the love of many shall wax cold." All right. No regard for the law. All right. That's what love is, keeping the commandments. Gonna wax cold. And that's the time that we're in. All right. And the prophets know that. That's why, hey, we're waiting patiently for the Lord to, start to do his thing on this place, man, so we can get out of here, get away from all these abominations. We need Yahweh now. All right. A lot going on. I'll close out with this because of that. This is the book of Psalms 119 and verse 126. And it reads, "It is time for thee Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, to work, for they have made void thy law. And that working is, bringing that judgment so we can have this salvation. Okay. Like I said, they have made void thy law. And when the law is void, a sin exceedingly pollutes the whole earth, according to Sirach, not Sirach, Second Esdras 15. Let me grab that just to back that up. Second Esdras 15. And 6. All right. Begin at verse 6. It says, for wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth. And this is just amongst 3 people. Look at all that abomination. All right. For wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. Therefore saith Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, which they profanely commit. Neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves in. Behold, the innocent and righteous blood crieth unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually. Going back to that Psalms 119 and 126, we're asking the Lord to go to work. All right. So with that, I hope this lesson was edifying to the elect body of the nation of Israel. Once again, I'm going to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Raha HaKakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone who rule well, in teaching me this 100% truth. Salutations to them and my fellow Akim who labor in this truth week in and week out on the highways and byways. Also, salutations to the hopeful elect from the scattered 12 tribes of Israel, scattered to the 4 corners of the earth, that be like unto the speckled bird. To you, I say Shalom, Kwam Yasharallah, Abba Babal. We got next. Shalom.